Good morning, my beloved. It is Monday again, 7:30 Central Time. Thank you for joining. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up for those of you that have done that and sharing. We're looking at and going through my book, Good Grief, and we're on the chapter where it's mourn with those that mourn, rejoice with those that rejoice. Romans 12:15. I love the beauty of the Bible and the way it addresses the things that we face in this life. And just the simplicity of meeting people where they are. If you genuinely care for people, when they get a raise or they get a promotion or they get a new car or they have a baby or whatever, you rejoice with them because they're rejoicing. It's only in flesh and selfishness that we get jealous because they have something we don't have. But when you genuinely love somebody and care about somebody, when they go through a time of celebration or something that they've prayed for, something they've believed for, some blessing came their way, you rejoice with them, you laugh with them, you do a little jig if you, if you feel compelled to. You rejoice with those that rejoice, but then he says you also mourn with those that mourn. There's a grief ministry, Stephen's ministry, that they have a title of a book, To Not Sing Songs to Those Who Are Weeping. And it's basically this idea of you can't be all happy go lucky when somebody's going through loss. You mourn with those that mourn, you meet them where they are. And I have so many great stories about Michael, who's gone on to be with Jesus. But one of my favorite ones is his best friend's brother passed away of a brain aneurysm. And they asked me to do the funeral, so I did the funeral, and he was a big OU fan. And I did this funeral, and afterwards, it's customary for me to meet with the family and to just give them a hug, see if there's anything I can do. And it takes a little bit of time to get through the crowd. And Michael asked me if he could go be with his best friend, and I said sure. So when I got through, it took about 20 minutes, I guess. When I got through, I stepped out of the funeral home, and he was there in the group with his best friend and their brother and sister. And I said, Michael, it's time to go. Are you ready? He said, yeah. And so we got in the truck and we started heading home. And I wanted to know how he handled this because this was the first time anybody he was close to had passed away. I'd had lots of people, and he was connected to them because of being connected to me. But this was this was his best friend's brother. This was close. So I asked him, how did it go? I never will forget his answer. It was profound. He said to me, he said, Dad, I didn't know what to say, so I just helped him cry. And I thought the beauty of that, the power of that, I didn't know what to say, so I just helped him cry. Mourn with those that mourn. God has a way of coming through when we'll just meet people where they are. You don't have to have all the right answers. You don't have to have all the right phrases. You don't have to have your theology all straightened out. What people need more than anything is you and your presence and you meeting them where they are. I've been with people and we've laughed about their loved one because they laughed about their loved one. We wept because they wept. I try to meet people where they are and bring them to where they need to be. But you can't force people to be happy when they're not, nor can you force people to cry when they're not ready. You have to meet people where they are. And I love the simplicity and power of God's Word. Rejoice with those that rejoice and mourn with those that mourn. Meet people where they are. If they don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. I know silence is uncomfortable for most of us, but maybe silence is the best thing that's needed just to give them an opportunity to process what they actually want to say, what they want to do. Instead of you putting words in their mouth or instead of you telling them what they should do, maybe it would be the best thing for you to just listen to what they want to talk about or what they want to do. I have had some incredibly wondrous times, actually, with people who have lost a loved one, as they just told story after story how their dad loved people well, or how their mom was always feeding the neighborhood, or how their sister was such a great giving individual, or how their son or their daughter was so excited about Jesus, and just listening to the stories and just laughed with them about things that they did, cried with them about things that they're feeling, and just had a truly wonderful experience, even though it was hard, just being there and meeting those people where they were. So, my encouragement today is, if you're going through grief, that if you're mourning, it's okay. Teach people how to mourn with you. If you're rejoicing because you know they're in heaven and they're no longer in pain, and they did their time, and you know that they lived a good life, then rejoice and don't feel bad about rejoicing. Just let the process of grief work its way out. Yes, there'll be times when you cry. Yes, there'll be times when you laugh. It's a process. But teach people how to go through the process with you. And those of you that are helping loved ones through loss, meet them where they are. Just be a friend. Meet people, whatever they're going through, just meet them there and be with them. And let God use you, because you're there and your presence is powerful. I love you all so much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Valerie. Jim, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Look forward to seeing you next Monday.